Hello, my name is Eileen Trautz, and this is my proposal for the Texas Plain Writing and Language Other than English Law. Public writing became important to me when I began working at the Texas Workforce Commission. I was helping people file claims for unemployment benefits, and they would ask me to repeat the same sentences because they were long and complex, and the words were unfamiliar. Texas public writing is difficult to understand, and translations are not available in the languages Texans speak. Using my minors of mass communication, psychology, and sociology, the problem of difficult to understand public writing is addressed in the form of a proposal for the Texas Plain Writing and Language Other than English Law. The primary audience is Texans with low literacy skills and Texans who speak languages other than English. The secondary audience is Texas state legislators, the State Affairs Legislative Committee, and the governor. Their support is necessary to make this a law. Literacy of Texans is below the national average, and state communications are not written for low literacy. 28% of adults in Texas have literacy skills of level 1 or below, meaning they can only read basic vocabulary. Reasons for low literacy of adult Texans are 17% are immigrants, 17% have less than a high school education, 22% don't speak English or do not speak it well, and 25% live below the federal poverty level. Language is also a problem because translations are not available for all documents from all agencies in all languages. There are over 7 million Texans who speak Spanish, and 1 million more who speak other languages. Most common are Vietnamese, Chinese, and Tagalog. I conducted a survey on language barriers to receiving Texas state services and found 60% of respondents found that language was sometimes a barrier to receiving state services. They also reported that 60% of the Spanish speakers and 100% of the Vietnamese speakers were seeing more information available in their language for state services. The solution of difficult to understand public writing is to use plain writing guidelines. That makes language easier to read, understand, and use. Plain writing is a method of writing for the intended audience. The plain language guidelines include use the active voice, address the reader as you, not the claimant, be concise, use familiar and short words, organize chronologically, use a table of contents, and test the finished document. I took the Texas Workforce Commission's application questionnaire for the COVID-19 disaster benefits, and I rewrote it using plain language guidelines. And the results were that it went from a 7th grade level on the Flesch-Kincaid grade level indicator to a 3rd grade level. And the sentence length went from an average of 10 words to 5 words per sentence. The syllables per word also decreased from 1.6 to 1.4. This is the plain language and language other than English law. This law requires plain writing guidelines and translations for public writing from all Texas agencies. Part 1 is why Texas needs the law. Part 2 is a description of the law. And Part 3 is implementation. The proposal for the law and an introductory letter will be sent to Texas legislators to inform them about the problem and ask for their help and support. My 3 minors are mass communication, psychology, and sociology. The mass communication concept, the spiral of silence, states that people fear speaking out against a perceived majority. The unavailability of languages other than English from state agencies signals that they do not value other languages or the people that speak them. The proposal section, Languages Other Than English Are Necessary, aims to stop the spiral of silence. In psychology, the theory of cognitive dissonance describes the discomfort people feel from the conflict between their attitudes and behavior. cognitive dissonance is demonstrated when state agencies promote self-reliance while distributing resources. The proposal section, Who Will Be Affected, addresses this by requiring state agencies to remove language and literacy barriers. The sociological theory, structural racism, occurs when institutions continually give lesser benefits to members of one race. Black and Hispanic adults are 3 to 4 times more likely to have low literacy skills than whites, so difficult to read language is a barrier to state resources for those Texans. It's addressed in the proposal item, literacy. Working on this project, I learned how ideas become laws in Texas. I learned how agencies are regulated, and I learned about adult literacy. And I learned about the movements for plain language and languages other than English. In the future, I will continue to contact legislators to seek their support for this proposal and for its introduction into the next legislative session. And I plan to continue to work in public service. I look forward to when all Texans can find easy-to-read public writing, and it is available in all the languages they speak. Thank you.